Alright, I had to redo this because I have audio problems, so I'm going to make it even more quick than it was originally. So there's two things that a lot of people ask me. Body odor vlog here. There's two things that people ask me throughout the weeks, the following weeks, or the I don't know, previous weeks. What is your diet, and what are you doing? Do you smell less because you've been drinking kombucha and taking kefir? So let me first answer that. I think I do still smell, but I smell significantly less. Secondly, let me talk about my diet. So my diet obviously ranges. I'm not like a robot and just only consistently eat the same things, even though I try to do that. And usually my diet consists of brown rice. It consists of a salad, which might include cucumbers, which might include bell peppers, which might include tomatoes. I would have some apple cider vinegar. I will put, salt and pepper. I'll put olive oil, maybe 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, in order to taste better. I would drink 1 cup of kombucha, which would be GTS kombucha. It was a 48 ounce. I bought that from Publix at $8.99. And then I would buy Lifeway kefir. It would be the low fat, unflavored, which would be like, it was on sale for Publix. It was 2 for $7. It was on sale for some time, and then now it's like at $4.25. So now it's like $8.50 and some tax and some cents. So I usually drink that, but now I have already created my own homemade kefir and my own homemade kombucha. So I'm going to start drinking that from now on and seeing if I get any different reactions. Today is the 31st day of me drinking kefir and the 24th day of me drinking kombucha. But it's also the 2nd day of me drinking homemade kombucha and technically the 1st day of me drinking homemade kefir. So I eat salad, brown rice, I drink a veggie smoothie. A veggie smoothie, again, it ranges. Technically, the things that I consistently put in my veggie smoothie is cucumber, spinach, celery, 2 tablespoons of olive oil because of healthy saturated fats, a cup of water. Now I'm actually including 1 cup of a homemade kefir into it in order to have like some probiotic benefits. And sometimes I would have avocados because I have an avocado tree in my house all the way in the back. So sometimes I can get some avocados, but it's pretty hard. So sparingly add avocados if I can, and that's pretty much it for that. And then I would possibly get some chicken breasts and stuff like that. But that's rare. If I have chicken breast because it's expensive, I wanted to do a keto diet, but I couldn't because when you buy all this types of meat, it's always like $10 to $12, and I'm a broke, poor boy. So that's what I typically eat for diet. However, like I said, I'm not a robot, and I relapse all the time. I try to do intermittent fasting. I try to do it till 6 p.m. And that there's times where I'm successfully doing it. There's times I'm not successful at doing it. Just the other day when it was like October, I wanted to actually eat some fucking candy for the celebration of Halloween. So what I did was buy some Snickers. I bought regular king size Snickers, and then I bought this new type of Snickers where it has almond butter in it, and then I bought like a Hershey special dark chocolate, and I ate those shits. And then at night my brother bought some like chicken wings, barbecue chicken wings that was spicy, and it included fries, and I ate those shits, and it was really delicious. So yeah, I'm basically trying to tell you that yes, there's times when I fucking ate just like really good food that's supposed to be bad, but I don't give a fuck. It's delicious. And what else I was gonna say? Yeah, and then it was like a time where I just relapsed from a intermittent fasting. So like I just can't make it all the way to 6. So then I eat like at 2, and I just eat like popcorn or some shit, or I ate like a grapefruit or something. I don't know, like stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not gonna be always consistent. I try to be consistent as can, but fuck it, I'm a human being. Second thing, what was the second thing? Oh, do you smell bad? I think I have significantly. I have a noticeable difference in the odor because the other day I went to the mall. I went to the mall on a Saturday, so the plan originally was to go with the camera, but then I was like, fuck that shit, because first off, I don't want to go to the mall. I hate going to malls, and secondly, I don't want to bring this goddamn camera around and be in people's faces like, hey, do you smell me? I'm not gonna do that shit, and I'm not gonna buy a secret hidden camera because that's gonna be extra $30, $40 that I could use for something that's gonna affect my life, that I think is gonna affect my life for the better. So I went to the mall on a Saturday, and I'm trying to speed through this shit because I hate recording this again, but I'm trying to hit all the notes. So I went to the mall from 30 minutes. For 30 minutes, I wanted to go for 30 minutes and go to at least 10 malls. But I stayed there for an hour plus. And overall, I feel like 80% of the people did not react to me. However, that 20%, I don't know, or I feel like they do, because there was like moments where I felt like I overheard like a group of females saying, "Wow, this guy smells like shit." Or I would see like when I was like talking to one customer or employee at a store, and then I leave to turn away, there would be this guy in the back. And specifically in Tommy Hilfiger, as I was walking around Tommy Hilfiger and just walking around through people and seeing if I would overhear, or look at someone giving off a reaction. I haven't really seen it until I was talking to this one employer because I would go to all these stores and ask, is there any holiday deals? I was trying to just strike up a fake conversation with them. I don't really give a fuck about holiday deals for any goddamn clothing store, but I'm trying to just talk to them to see if I can see if they have any type of reactions, and they didn't really show any type of reactions at all. But when I was talking to this one woman at the Tommy Hilfiger saying, "Hey, do you have any holiday deals?" After I got my answer, I turned away and I saw this guy in back of me who was like sitting right next to a door. His nose was like, he was doing like this, and then once I turned away to like walk out the store, he would change his face to this. Also, there was a group or like a family couple with their child and shit, and for some reason we will always like walk within the same area, and as I was about to exit, I saw I guess the mother or the girlfriend or whoever the bitch was. So she noticed me, and as I was walking past her, she was walking this way, I'm walking this way. She put her nose like this and went the other way and then stopped. But it was like a brief moment. She briefly did this and then stopped. And so I'm like, what the fuck is that? Also, I wanted to note that for the last couple of days, I noticed I have a warm sensation in the back of my neck and in my head area. Sometimes it's in my butt area. And it makes sense that I get this warm sensation because, or at least a warm sensation in my back, because it makes me feel like I always get worse reactions in back of me. I always get worse reactions in back of me. So it makes me feel like a lot of this, I feel like the warm sensation is the feeling that some type of gas is emitting from my skin or something like that. That's how I feel. I remember sometimes when I was working at G6 Management, there was these few times where I felt like heat was coming off my chest, and this made me feel like, okay, maybe there's some gas emitting from my chest or something like that. And I don't know what type of food. I know I reintroduced potatoes into my diet because I wanted more fiber, and I noticed that with eating that, I got more warm sensations on my neck area. But at the same time, within the last 2 days, I also was eating soup, which has so many different other chemicals or other different stuff in it. It was like, it had chicken, it had different vegetables, it was within some type of broth. We don't know what's in the broth, so I don't know. But going back to the mall, I went to 10 different malls. I'm going to try to remember all of them. So I went to Ross, I went to Forever 21, I went to Guess, I went to Bath and Body Works, I went to Famous Footwear, I went to GameSpot, I went to Tommy Hilfiger, I went to a lot of these stupid ass stores. I went to Burlington Coat Factory, I went to some Marshall's store, and I went around people and I try to be around people. And 80% of the time when I passed by people, I didn't really feel like I smelled bad. However, there was those few instances where I felt like I smelled bad. So ultimately, I think I do. Here's another thing I forgot to mention. Okay, so I did not exercise before I went out. That's really important for me because I've noticed throughout the years, whenever I exercise, I get less reactions. So I really wanted to test the waters to see how bad I smell by not exercising early in the morning, because I noticed, because within my logic, when I exercise and I sweat out the odor. So since I didn't exercise, if there is any odor, it's possibly going to still be intact. So I didn't exercise at all, and I just took a shower and just went to the mall, and I got maybe 20% of the people I've noticed got reactions. But at the same time, I think to myself, maybe I'm just paranoid. Maybe they just had allergies or some shit, because sometimes when people rub their nose, they're just rubbing their nose, like, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't know. Oh, I also went to Columbia Sportswear. All these stores I really didn't give a fuck about, but I had to walk around and try to talk to people. I tried to talk to a lot of customers, a lot of employees. and a lot of the times I didn't really see any reactions. I didn't see any reactions whenever I talked to employees. However, there's those few incidences where when I walked away from an employee, I felt like they were talking about me, but I couldn't prove it. Like I didn't distinctly hear them say anything to me, so I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, they said I smell like shit. Okay. And I just want to highlight this one part. There's one part that I feel like is really important, really impactful, because I went to the famous footwear. And then there was a woman who was asking me, "Do you need anything?" And I asked him the typical, gave him the typical question, "Do you have any holiday deals?" And then the second question I asked him is like, "Oh, do you have a foot scale? Because I don't know if I have a 12 foot or 13 foot." I wanted to take off my shoe to see if she would give off any reactions. So she takes out the foot scale. I take off my shoe, right, and I put in the foot scale, and there was nothing. She didn't give off any reactions at all. She didn't give off any reactions or noticeable reactions when I was talking to her. But at the same time, like I said originally, just because nobody does this or whatever the fuck they do, doesn't mean you don't smell bad. There's tons of people who smell bad and you don't give off reaction. You don't say, "Oh my god, you smell terrible," whatever. And it sucks so bad because I can't detect myself at all. So it's all a guessing game. I was thinking about going to church or some type of activity or event where I have to keep showing up to people. Where if I do smell bad, I'm probably going to eventually overhear them smell bad, because when you go to the mall, there's just tons of people that are there, and maybe you do smell bad, but they're not going to really make mention of you smelling bad. Most of the time, when you overhear someone who smells bad, like, they recognize you. You have been there for a number of times, whether you're in school, whether you're, I don't fucking know, you're at your job or something. Like, they're going to be more bold to say things. But when you're just at some mall where you're just moving around random people, you're not going to find a lot of instances where that happens. So since I work at home, it's not possible for me to do that. Speaking of work at home, I fucking hate this job. I don't know. I mean, I already knew that I was going to hate customer service. And I confirmed, yes, I really hate being on the phone talking for 7 to 8 hours a day and shit, because it just gets really stressful. Like, after the end of a shift, like, my mind is like, I still feel stressed out and shit, and the only way I can relieve that type of stress is if I go exercising or like ride my bike or something like that. Did I say everything I needed to say? Because I really don't want to do this again, and hopefully the audio picks up. Oh, I want to say this. So last week I bought these 32 ounces. This is a 32 ounce mason jars. And previously I only had like these 2-gallon jars. Now I have 12 32 ounce mason jars. And these only cost $13.99, which is around $14 at Publix. I bought this at Publix. I originally was going to get a 16 ounce, which means it's only going to be 2 cups. But then I thought to myself, nah, I think I want something around like 4 cups. So I'm already using 2 of them. So I have like 10 different mason jars left. And it's only $14. I wanted to show this off. There's something else I wanted to say. Oh yeah, I work for Ancestry. I'm not going to really go into it because I didn't want to really do this vlog thing over again. I work for Ancestry, so that's basically they're basically a company that keeps records or have databases of historical records that have to do with military, documents, immigration records, census records. I'm working for that. That's the client I'm working for. The company is Teletech, but one of their clients I'm working for is Ancestry, and it's sort of cool. I know more about Ancestry, and the more I know about Ancestry, the more I think it's like, this is some cool shit. But I don't want to talk to you anymore. I already talked before, and it just didn't turn out well. So, fuck that. Goodbye. Hopefully it turns out good.